Yo, what's good, everybody? It's Austin here, or Luna. So I'm using a different mic today. I'm actually using the mic that I record music on, which I don't know why I haven't done that yet. I have been doing YouTube for over 10 years now, and I have a mic to make music with that is like $2,000, but I still record all my videos on a mic that's like $60. I don't know. I'm one of those people that's like, oh, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So if you like how this sounds, let me know. I'll keep using it. If you hate how it sounds and you want me back on my shittier mic, I'll use that one. I don't care. I'm just trying this one today. Anyway, guys, today's story time is a good one, a crazy one of my craziest, if I dare say. I've witnessed a lot of things in life, but this was pretty nuts. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Leave a like on the video if you do, and let's jump into this. So today's story time all takes place back when I was 17 years old. Now, I grew up in a pretty small town. Pretty much everybody where I live knows everybody. And in this town, there was like two kinds of areas. So I grew up like actually in the town where I lived. So I lived by like civilization. There was like buildings and grocery stores and, things to do. But some of my friends, if you drove like 15 minutes one way, they lived in like the country areas of my town. And like it was just, fields and farms and not much to do and just a lot of land. And, me personally, I wouldn't want to live in the country just because I like being around people. But I know a lot of people don't like that. And shit, sometimes I totally understand that. And I have the same viewpoint every once in a while. But there was one really good thing about living in the country where I lived. And my friends that lived in the country would have really fun parties on their land. So yeah, every time my friends' parents would like go out of town or like they were, busy for the night or something, my friends would have these parties, and like usually because they lived in the country, they had really big backyards and like really big land, and it was pretty much just a giant outdoor party, and it was always really fun. So I had this one friend, we'll just call him Ryan, okay? Ryan lived like 25 minutes away from where I lived, and he had a shit ton of land, like so much property. Well, his parents did. He didn't, but he lived there. So like he had this huge property, right? And like they had like a barn and like, crops and shit. But then his backyard was just a field essentially of like just tons of open space, right? And yeah, one night in the summer of me being 17 years old, I get a text from Ryan. And he goes, yo, I'm thinking about having a party next weekend. Would you be down to come? And I was like, bro, of course. And he's like, all right, cool. It'll be on Saturday. I'm like, bro, I'm there. Just let me know what time. So fast forward to Friday night, the night before the party. I texted Ryan again and I was like, yo, are you still having that party tomorrow? He's like, just about to text you, bro. Yup, still having it. Mad people are coming. Like, pull up, bring some people if you want. So I was pretty excited, right? Because first of all, I hadn't done shit in a very long time. So I was definitely itching to be social. Second of all, I hadn't been to a party in a long time, so I also was just kind of itching to go to a party, and I knew Ryan's house was really fun to hang out at, and he had all this property. It was going to be a good time. We're going to have a big bonfire, chill out in the back, nice weather. It was going to be a good time, right? So Saturday rolls around. I got ready. He told me to be there at like 8 p.m., so that's what I did. Pulled up at like 8:30ish, and I was actually pretty early. Like most people didn't show up till like 9, so that like 45 minutes I was there early. I just literally like helped him set shit up. I helped him set up some tables, helped him start the bonfire, helped him uncover his pool. It was going to be fun, right? So fast forward like an hour later, people show up. It's fun. It's good. It starts off really, really nice and pretty small, actually. Fast forward like another hour later, though, things start changing. It's not so small anymore. A lot of people start pulling up, and it's becoming like a real party, Fast forward another hour, shit gets even crazier. There is like double the amount of people that we thought were going to be there. Like, it's kind of getting out of control. You know what I mean? Like, like an hour prior, I knew everybody at the party. Now it was to the point where I didn't know everybody. And there was like tons of people there that I'd never seen before because Ryan let everyone bring people, which is a one-way ticket to a big party, but also a one-way ticket to a party where you might get your shit stolen, your shit broken, your house fucked up, because people are bringing randoms in and they might just not care about your house, man, because they don't know you. Like, if you have a party with a bunch of people odds are your house will be okay. But if you invite a bunch of random people, if you've ever seen the movie Project X, if you haven't, go watch it. But if you've ever seen that movie, they fuck your house up. So yeah, I was getting a little bit worried, and Ryan luckily was smart and didn't have anyone going into his house. He had all the doors locked. Like, even when the party started, he had all the doors locked because he didn't want anybody in his house. He wanted this to be just solely an outside party. So yeah, that was a good idea because once all these randoms showed up, I was very relieved that they couldn't get into his house. So, like I said, it's a little bit out of control at this point. It's getting so out of control that I'm worried that like the neighbors are going to start calling the cops or some shit, because even though he had a fuck ton of land, there was so many people and like so much loud music being played that you could kind of hear it like from far away. Like I remember at one point I walked down to the edge of his street to go like see if it was too loud because he asked me to. Ryan wanted me to like go check the noise level. And it was pretty fucking loud. So I had to like go back to his house and tell him like, yo, you can like hear the music from all the way at the end of the street. And like you can hear people yelling and shit. Like it's pretty loud. So we dialed the music back a little bit. That definitely helped. And then we went back to the party. Now, about 30 or 40 minutes later, shit kind of hits the fan. And what I mean by that is there was this guy there, right? We'll call him Troy, okay? Troy was a friend of me and Ryan's from school. We had classes with him. He was a cool dude. Didn't really have any problems with him, but he was very impulsive. And what I mean by that is he would just do shit without thinking first. And on this day, Troy was no different. Troy ends up going into Ryan's shed, or I should say his parents' shed, and he finds the keys to Ryan's four-wheeler and rides out of that bitch on the four-wheeler, going full speed through a party of people, like weaving in and out of crowds and like almost running people over. Motherfucker almost hit me in the leg. Like this motherfucker's just flying, just driving as fast as he can on this four-wheeler. And me and Ryan are trying to chase him down to tell him like, yo, stop. And we're yelling behind him like, yo, get off that thing, get off it, like stop it, hit the brakes. And it didn't matter. He was going too fast. We were too far behind. He couldn't hear us. And he keeps going full speed, like towards the back of Ryan's property. And he ends up going a little too crazy. And what I mean by that is he's going full speed, right? And he's not really paying attention to the grass in front of him. And he rides up to a cut down tree, but he doesn't see the stump like laying there somehow. And he full speed crashes the four-wheeler into this stump and gets flung over the handlebars, like through the air, flying. And I watch him fly and then smack down on the grass and like barrel roll a couple times and then just laid there. And the fucking four-wheeler, dude, there was a giant dent in the front. Like this motherfucker screwed up Ryan's four-wheeler. I felt so bad for him. But anyway, we ran up to this dude to make sure he was okay. We're like, Troy, like, are you good? Are you good? And he ends up standing up and he kind of shakes it off. And he's like, I'm good. I'm fine. Like, I'm good. I took a fall. I'm okay. And I'm like, bro, you were going full speed on a four-wheeler and you hit a fucking tree that was cut down. Like, what do you mean you're good? He's like, bro, I'm fine. Like, I just fucked my knee up a little bit. He wasn't kidding. His knee was definitely cut up, scraped up, a little bit of bleeding. It was swollen. But he claimed he was fine. He just wanted to go back to the party. He also apologized to Ryan for fucking up his four-wheeler. By the way, guys, I'm sure you know this already, but four-wheelers are not cheap. And Ryan was furious, rightfully so. Because a motherfucker like essentially snuck into his parents' shed and took his four-wheeler and crashed it. And yeah, I remember when Troy went back to the party, Ryan like hopped on the four-wheeler and luckily it still drove. So he drove it back to the shed, parked it, closed the shed, went inside, found a padlock or something and then locked it. And after he locked it and everything was all like, safely put away, he walked up to me and Ryan was like, yo, I'm losing my fucking mind right now, man. Like I might just call this whole party off. Like this shit sucks. And I couldn't really blame him being upset, right? Like fucking having a party, you're trying to have fun with your friends, and then someone steals your four-wheeler and crashes it and dents the entire front and probably fucked up the frame and shit. Like, I'd be upset too. Because not only did he have a broken four-wheeler now, but eventually his parents were going to see that, ask what happened, and he'll either have to lie to them, which sucks, and take the blame himself, or he'll tell the truth and he'll probably not be able to hang out with Troy anymore. And they'll probably know he had a party or like invited Troy over without telling them and he'll get in trouble. Anyway, right? So after this happens, Ryan's in a bad mood. He wants to shut the whole party down and he goes over to one of our other friends. We'll just call his friend Alex. And he's like, yo, Alex, I think I'm going to call this shit off, bro. I think I'm going to send everyone home. And Alex was like, nah, man, like, don't do that. Like, this shit's just getting started. Like, it's fucking awesome here. Please don't call it off. Like, this is so fun. And he essentially begs Ryan not to end the party. And Ryan actually listens, which I did not think he would because he wasn't the type to listen to outside opinions when he was set on doing something. But he listened and he didn't call the party off. He let it keep going. And when I tell you this shit only got crazier, it only got crazier. So about 30 minutes later, not even, I see this giant trail of flames like go really high up in the air from like 20 or 30 feet away. And it's like coming out of a crowd, right? Like there's like a crowd of people circled around the flames. And it wasn't where the bonfire was. So I'm like, what the fuck? Is something on fire? So I run over there, and so does Ryan. And we like, like weasel our way through the crowd, and we get to the front. And there is a guy who we've never seen before, who is like 5 or 6 years older than all of us. And keep in mind, we're all like 17, 18 years old at the time. So this dude was definitely way too old, in my opinion, to be at a party with teenagers. But anyway, this guy is standing there in the middle of this crowd with this device I have never seen before. It looks homemade. And he aims it at the sky and like pulls this trigger and out shoots a super tall flame into the air. This motherfucker had a homemade flamethrower. Who the fuck just has one of those? And why the fuck is he bringing it to people's houses and using it in a crowd of people? Like, it just screamed something was about to go wrong. So obviously Ryan starts freaking out. He's like, yo, get that shit out of here. I don't know where that came from. Like, take that the fuck home. Get out of my party. Like, you're not staying here. And he essentially tells that dude, get the fuck off his property, right? Which is valid in my opinion. Like, obviously Ryan didn't want his house getting burned down. And the guy's like, dude, you're fucking tripping, bro. You're tripping. Like, it's fine. I've tested this thing. I've built a bunch of them. Like, they're safe. Trust me. Like, I got this. And Ryan's like, bro, I don't fucking care. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're doing here. I don't know what that thing is. Like, just get it out of my house. Please go home. And to my surprise, the guy actually listened. The guy was like, all right, man, whatever. And he ends up like going up to the 2 people he came with. He's like, all right, let's go. And we realized that the 2 people he came with were 2 people from our school. So maybe it was like one of their older siblings or like one of their friends that was just older. I don't know. But they all started leaving, which made me relieved because now Ryan didn't have to worry about his house being burned down on accident, right? So they walk around the right side of the house to the front driveway where they parked. And I thought they were just getting in their car and leaving. So did Ryan. So we went back to just enjoying the party. When about 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, our friend Alex, the one I talked about earlier, runs around the house to the backyard where the whole party is from the front, runs up to me and Ryan and goes, yo, there's a fucking car on fire outside. There's a car on fire. And we're like, what? So we run around the house and bro, this car wasn't just on fire. The entire back seat was on fire. And this guy, the one with the flamethrower, is standing at the edge of the driveway on the phone with the fire department talking about how he lit his car on fire on accident. So yeah, that car that was on fire belonged to Mr. Flamethrower. And it wasn't just on fire for some random reason. He fucking set it on fire himself. Yeah, I walked up to one of the people that came with him and I was like, yo, what happened? And I guess when he was trying to put it in the car, he didn't properly turn it off or something, and he hit the trigger and lit the back of his car on fire, the back seat. So naturally, Ryan's freaking out because there is a car engulfed in flames in his driveway, burning up his driveway. There's also other cars near it, and we're scared that this thing's gonna like explode or something, and that other cars are gonna catch on fire. Also, the fire department's coming now, and probably the police, because yeah, there's a fire and there's a whole party going on at Ryan's house and they're all like flooding to the front and watching this happen. And it's just a shit show. And Ryan is like freaking out, completely rightfully so, right? So about 5-10 minutes later, the fire department pulled up. A couple police officers did as well. They got out. They extinguished the fire very quick. Shout out to the fire department. Shout out to the fire department that was near Ryan's house because he may have lived in the middle of nowhere, but there was a fire department nearby. Thank fuck. Because if there wasn't one, that car could have gotten so much worse and it could have been such a bigger problem. But yeah, he had a fire department nearby. So they pulled up, put the fire out, shout out to them. And then the fire department and like this police officer went up to Ryan and Ryan had to explain like, my parents are out of town for the night. They're coming back tomorrow. I'm having a party. I'm 18. Like, my parents, you can call them if you want, but they're not going to be here tonight. So the police had to like call Ryan's parents and let them know like, hey, a car was just on fire in the driveway of your house. And there are now like char marks where the car was burning in your driveway. And there's also a party going on you don't know about. Like essentially it just all crumbled down on Ryan at once. And after Ryan talked to his parents on the phone and had a pretty awkward conversation, they definitely sounded pretty pissed at him. So anyway, after he hangs up the phone with them, he talks to one of these police officers for a little bit. And then another police officer is talking to the guy that lit his car on fire, that had the flamethrower. and they're also assessing the homemade flamethrower. They're like looking at it and like scoping it out and seeing what it is. And bro, this motherfucker got arrested. Yeah, dude, they fucking cuffed him and drove him out of there in a cop car. So apparently this dude, not only did he get in trouble for what he did, but he had a warrant for his arrest for something else. I'm not sure what it was. I don't know the extent of all the charges and shit because I never found out. I just remember after they put him in the cop car, I heard one of the officers talking about a previous warrant on that guy. So he probably got booked for like not only having that warrant, but he probably got hit with other stuff too. I'm sure he probably got hit with like some form of arson because like, bro, he had a flamethrower and set his car on fire and put every other car at risk and people at risk and was playing with it like a toy. Also, I'm sure there's got to be some sort of charge for building a flamethrower. I feel like that has to be illegal. I don't know. I'll have to look into it after I upload this video, but like there's no way you can just build a flamethrower, which is, you know, a weapon essentially. I think in some states you can like buy a flamethrower. Like I know like Elon Musk used to have a company that sold flamethrowers. I know David Dobrik used to have one. Maybe that's legal. I don't know. Even that, I'm not sure. But like, bro, building one homemade, that can't be. I don't know. Anyway, dude got arrested. Dude got fucking taken out of there in a cop car. They towed his car out of there. There was a giant char mark in my friend's driveway where the fire was. And the fire department left shortly after that, and the cops did as well. And the party was then ended. Everyone had to go home. It was done. Ryan sent everyone home. It was time to wrap it up. I actually ended up sleeping over at Ryan's that night and helping him clean up because I just felt so bad for him. And so did our friend Alex. He stayed as well. And we slept over. And the next morning, I woke up to Ryan and his parents at the kitchen table just grounding him. They were telling him that he was grounded for 3 months, that he had to essentially pay for the driveway to get fixed with his job money. He worked for like some lawn care business. So yeah, he had to use money from that to fix the driveway. They also made us go home right after we woke up because, you know, Ryan was grounded. They also found out about the four-wheeler. Yeah, like a week later, Ryan like had to go clean his shed and like his dad was helping him and they found the four-wheeler with a dent in it and he had to explain that happened at the party and someone took it without his permission. Luckily, they went easy on him about that because they believed his story about like, you know, someone taking it and like taking it for a joyride. So that he didn't really have to get in trouble for. He just was responsible for getting it fixed. So he had to take that out of his own money as well. And yeah, man, he got grounded. He was definitely not having any more parties for a long time after that. And it was just all in all an insane, crazy night. So moral of this story is, guys, don't play with fire. Fire is not a toy. Also, if you're having a get together with your friends, don't just let anybody show up. Don't let random people in your house or on your property. That's just a recipe for disaster. Yeah, guys, make sure you know who you can trust. That's all. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this story time, a very crazy one. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below. And subscribe if you're new. I'll see you all later. Peace.
Gotta know your place, have bitches pull up on me. I got 2 switches, 20 gauge rounds, hit you up like it's nutrition. I've risen, everything came to fruition. Stop the jealous talking on your girls, mine I might hit it. I heard my name is in your mouth, yeah, I really doubt you want me talking back, cause I could really air it out. Remember when